welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I am tired today, Rob. I want to go take a blanket and go sit in the park underneath a tree and go to sleep.
Oh,
It's a great day, but I'm just over it already.
it,
It's barely lunchtime.
it is a tad chilly to be out laying under the in the park, though.
Not in the sun. The sun's good.
You'd have to be in the sun for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and walked my dog this morning at 6 o'clock, and it was 47 degrees.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I took a ride yesterday and there were parts of the ride where I froze my teethies off.
yeah. Being on a bike will do that to you for sure.
It was on the cooler side anyway, but then once we hit certain areas, I was like, "Oh my goodness." And of course, I'm like, I'm not gonna need all the gear. Well, thankfully, I keep extra gear because that was the day to need it all.
Yep.
I wore
Yeah, it's
everything I had.
these mornings are they're getting colder and colder for me and the dog. So, but he doesn't care. He loves it.
Yeah,
He's
that's funny.
yeah, he can't get enough of it. He ran the whole time. Didn't care.
Nice. Nice.
Um, let's see. What are we gonna talk about today? We are going to talk about I think mostly with friendships and relationships. I've been watching some things on YouTube, mostly with relationships, but friendships also kind of roll into these things. Um, how easy it is that we go from being friends or in a relationship to strangers, and how quick it happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes it happens pretty darn quick.
so yeah, sometimes it happens absurdly quick.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it happens absurdly quick for the right reasons,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So a lot of these people were YouTubing, and a lot of it too was most of it was on dating, where like you could go out with somebody like 5 or 6 times and all of a sudden they just disappear. Right. That was kind of the vibe of the video. And then I started thinking about it like, what about life? Like real life, and not just like a couple of dates, and then I can see how that could happen. I mean, I think that in today's dating world you get ghosted really quickly anyway,
Yeah,
where
because
people
people
just
can't take responsibility for what they're feeling and act
yeah, they
like a human with person that they said they wanted to be with. I don't understand that whole ghosting concept.
me either. I also don't understand someone just not going, I'm just not interested. Like we had a good time. A matter of fact, I went on a date. I went on a couple of 2 dates with this one girl a long time ago now, now that I think about it. Um, Super sweet, really good time. And then I tried asking her out again, and she was really upfront. Like she's like, look, you're cool. I don't think I want to date at all.
Hmm.
And like, and we're friends on Facebook, and she's not bullshitting. Like she doesn't do anything. I think she's just going through whatever she's going through, and super cool. But I like that she was just up front. She even told me, she goes, if you want to go out for lunch, we can, like Dutch, like we can just go and have lunch. And I
Right.
thought that was really cool. Like very upfront, and unlike a lot of people today,
I agree. It is.
because it was bitching. I was like, cool. And she's a sweetheart. And I didn't go out with her again just because of logistics and like things happening in my life.
Mhm.
Um, I ended up, really kind of humping down with this shoulder thing and blah, blah, blah. But I would totally go see her again. She's like 35 minutes from my house. Super cool. Great conversation. And as long as everyone goes into it knowing that there's nothing past just bullshitting at lunch, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, that's how life should be. This whole ghosting and not just not telling people what the hell is going on. And you know what I noticed that people leave people insecure because of the way they leave. Like, why would you, if you dated them 3, 4, 5, whatever times, and it's not getting along, just say, you know what, this isn't working out for me, but you're really cool. Like, I could appreciate that. I'm okay with
Mhm.
that, but I don't know. It's kind of weird how these things happen. People just don't, that's how they show they don't want to be around.
Yeah. Well, I just think people think it's easy because now you just block people,
Yeah.
right?
Until you run into them at the mall or, you know, church or
Yeah, that could get odd.
that's when I want to be a bug on the wall. I wanna
Right.
hear what's going
Thankfully, I don't think that that's ever really,
on.
really happened to me. And I don't believe it has. And if it did, it was probably many, many, many years later. So it's a little less odd. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, I will tell you that like I'm really good, I guess people I would say to myself, but really bad in others people's minds where once I know it's done, I really cut people off. But I'll
Well,
tell
that's
them.
what done means.
Yeah, but I've also had to tell people like
Yeah.
I liked somebody and they ended up getting with some guy and I was like, "Look, it's better for me. Like I wish you well, but I can't." Cuz like they were like, "We can still be friends." And I was like, "That's difficult."
Mhm.
When you have feelings for somebody, it's difficult to just turn the friend switch on.
Yeah,
I
for
find it
sure.
easier for me to just be done,
Mhm.
and if this person texts me tomorrow or even called me, showed up at my door, I would be there for her because I love her to death. But I know now that, you have to keep people at an arm's length. That's just the way it is. I also feel that the longer that you distance yourself from people, you find yourself going, I don't miss them romantically. I miss them like a friend. Like I I would say that like I do miss certain people as friends that I could just pick up the phone and talk to them. But I think it's best for, and I'm going to roll the mental health, roller coaster. But I think it's good for your mental health or your inner self to just cut people the fuck off.
Well, it takes a lot less patience. That's for sure. Because if you cut them off, you just don't have to deal with anything. You could let yourself heal. You could not have them in your daily world to be thinking about them. That gets rough, especially when you can't be with them. So it makes sense to distance yourself um until your feelings kind of balance out.
Right.
But some people can never balance out. Most people I don't think ever really balance out. It's not easy to get to that spot.
Absolutely. It's very difficult.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I and mhm,
I was thinking about my ex and I don't even know that I would say I'm balanced out. I really came to terms with it. I had a lot of time to sit there and think during COVID. But I wonder if he feels the same way. I would hope he does. That we've gotten to a place where it's okay and that everything's fine. It seems like we're good on that. But
mhm.
I don't want to speak for him, but do you know what that took to get from being married to divorce to like being a good friend, like a solid person? That took so much consistency. That took so
Right.
much like respect for the other person. I don't really see people having that level of respect even in a relationship, let alone divorcing through one.
Right.
So I don't know. I think we definitely took the hard road and it would and you're supposed to move on and you're supposed to let go of people and you're just supposed to do that. So you're not torturing yourself or the person that you're with. But I don't know, this day and age is different because we could just communicate so easily, even when we're not communicating. Like, I could put something out there on social media, and it nobody knows what I'm even talking about, but that person will know.
Sure. Yeah. They call
So
that vague booking
oh,
when
yeah,
you put,
that's the thing?
yeah.
I always learn new words with you because I
Yeah.
don't pay attention to this shit
They
ever.
they call it, I don't know what they would call it on Instagram, but on Facebook it's called vague booking. And if you do it on Twitter, it's called subtweeting.
Seriously, there's actual names for this shit.
Yeah. So you're basically, you leave. I mean, I've done it a bunch of times that I literally left something on my Facebook for one person. See.
Yeah, I've wondered that 100 times if I've wondered it once, but not just you, other people. And then there's people
Mhm.
like me, it's like, "Oh, I haven't posted in, like, 6 months," or I haven't.
Well, and I think that's also the other thing that can make people wonder, right? Um,
You think
you know,
so?
oh, absolutely. Like you can like, oh well, here's the thing. It all matters how you are as a person. I think if you cut somebody off and you mean to cut people off and like not talk to them or not, you have to be diligent enough to not check social media.
Yeah.
So, like with people that I know, or for people that I would want to check up on, I can't see their stuff anyway,
Mm.
so I don't have to worry about it.
See, there's people that are still friends on my social media for whatever reason that I don't even like or care about. And when I see their posts, I just like ignore it. Like I just scroll through, or I'll even put it on where you don't have to see anything of theirs for an extended amount of time. Like
Correct.
I'm not into, yeah, and this is the thing with social media is that if you want to annoy yourself, you don't need any freaking help. If you want to be annoyed,
Oh
you
yeah.
could do that so easily. Just get on social media and see what somebody's doing. I don't got time for that. I'm actually proud of myself, Rob. I feel like I'm living my life and I'm not watching it on a little tiny screen that people could come in and out of my life on.
It's actually really good that you're not. I not to get too far off topic, but about social media, it's meant to make us angry, so we keep coming back.
Mhm.
So you add relationships into that, and it's two or threefold, right? So
Yep.
you're constantly seeing this person, doing whatever it is you wish you were doing it with them.
Mhm.
So you really have to do it and really cut people off, and it's difficult. Look, to go from being like, let's say we'll start with friendships where you're like really good friends and you talk all the time, and if you see each other all the time, I'm sure it's 50 times worse. But
Right. I've
if
had to
something,
do that.
yeah, but if something happens and you have to, become strangers, I think it's for the best that you just become strangers. And sometimes you have to cut off other people because of that. So if you have a
Mhm.
very large friendship group, that you end up, someone has to be the odd man out,
Yeah.
right? Or you start feeling like, let's say you share friends, which is fine. But when you see each other, when you see your friends that your exes with, or your other friends that you can't talk to with, you have to really be diligent about not talking about that,
Mhm.
and then it's a you thing. It becomes, how do you handle the situation, not anything else,
Yep,
you
for
know,
sure.
and it's difficult. No one wants to become a stranger overnight, because then you live in your own head,
Mhm.
and we can even talk exes, like where, we've been married and then went through a divorce, where, in my case, it was very difficult because I had a 6-year old.
Yeah.
So like I had to see her every other week. Now,
Yep.
you know, months later, we, we definitely cut that any situation from happening ever again. But then I was very brutal. I just cut the umbilical cord.
Mhm.
Like I was like, okay, she doesn't want to, fuck it. I'm done. Move on. This is where I need to do. And then I started thinking, what do I need to do? What do I, where do I want to be? Do I want to see other people? Do I want to start dating? Do I want to look what's out there? And you have to do that. And people also will shit on you for that. Oh, you moved on so quick. I mean, yes, because it was thrown at me that it's time to move on. I know that people, will throw out the, oh, they must have been cheating, blah, 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 because they moved on so quick. No, I think that that's a fallacy. Does it happen? Absolutely. I'd be lying to you if I said that that doesn't happen. But I also don't think that you can't just go out and meet somebody new. I mean, we're creatures that need people,
Mhm.
right? So if you fall into somebody again quickly and it's making you happy, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, I just think that because I hear a bunch of people out there all the time, they're like, the cheater always gets with them really quick. It's like, yes, I'm sure that happens a lot of the time, but I think it's a fallacy to think that you can't go out and meet somebody.
Well, not only that though, the cheater who's going out and finding somebody quickly, like, if they were already cheating, they've been over a while.
Hmm.
So, even though you were together, they were still done with you. So, in that case, like, what do you mean it went quickly? Like,
Right.
now now
In
it's
their head, it
just the
wasn't.
person is capable to do it because there isn't anybody stopping them.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Right. And like you said, in their head, they were probably done
A long
far
time
before
before.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why cheating occurs. There's not if there's not that true connection, then a lot of things are gonna happen,
Hmm.
you
Yeah. I
know?
mean, that's a good point. Like you just don't know.
Mhm,
I, but I do think that the cutting off thing, it, look, I think for people who are out there listening and going through anything like that, it's not easy. I don't care, if you were married 2 years or 25 years.
mhm,
It's not easy because you're starting a new life, right?
mhm.
And the same with friends. Like you might have been with you might have been friends with somebody for 30 years.
I've done
And
that.
yeah, and something crazy happens.
Yeah.
So you find yourself in a position of having to change everything and everyone around you.
Yeah, it's like a reinvention
Mhm.
almost.
And look, you will find yourself sometimes lonely in that
Mhm,
situation. Like I said, if you had a ton of different friends that were their combined friends, yeah, I could see how it could happen. And the same with being married, right? If you're
mhm.
if you have if your wife is friends with another person's wife and you're friends with the husband, it puts things in turmoil because you're like, oh man, I just wanted to, hang out with you guys again. It's like, well, blah, blah, blah. She's coming over. It's like, okay. So,
And, if you give that time too, it levels out and people will be like, "Yeah, I'd love to see you," because enough time has gone by that the hurt goes away.
mhm.
And then, you could start and then, sometimes you just need the break to reinvent yourself. Like, all the distractions aren't gonna make anything any better.
That's 100% true. That I think a lot of the distractions sometimes
Make it harder.
make it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to just, do your thing. And like it took me, I mean, a good, even after I kind of cut the cord, I would say, that was about 8 months after she left.
Mhm.
So, that's a good amount of time to be with yourself and see what's going on and test the waters of whatever it is you want to do. Sow your oats a little bit, Sometimes you got to
Mhm.
sleep with somebody else just to kind of get your wits about you. And I know that that's a horrible thing to say, but it's true.
Mhm.
And then sometimes you're going to sleep with people who are there just to be that for you, right? To give you that, um,
Over the hump person?
yeah, or yeah, get your confidence back,
Yeah.
because like sometimes when you're married for a long period of time and then you get back into the field, you might not feel as
Confident?
you yeah, confident about, going out and meeting women
Mhm.
or when, or having a man hit on you when you've been married for so long. You don't know how to take it, in your head, you're like, oh, I'm still married.
Mhm.
So it's, it's difficult, but I think becoming strangers, as hard as it is for the best in 90% of the cases.
Well, you can't be reminded of them if, they're not around. You don't have you could think whatever you want to, you could make up your own whatever you want to about them, and then that's basically what you tell yourself, and that works?
Mhm.
So, like, leaving them alone is a good thing, but when they pop back into your life, it could stir up so much drama and anxiety and feelings, and why even do that? If
I
you
mean, yeah,
stay away, it makes it a lot easier.
yeah,
Not that I listen to myself in all my aspects of my life, but the
yes,
ones where I cut it off, it was much easier.
I agree. I've told myself a few times, like, I'm done. I'm not going to talk to this person ever again.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
Right. So you find yourself, look, emotions and feelings are a dangerous game. Right.
Mhm.
So, and not that everyone uses them against you is kind of what I want to say, because I don't think this person came back into my life to, you know, um, for their own gain, right? It just, at the time she needed someone to talk to. She was going through her own issues and abuse and whatever. And we lived close to each other. So she knew that if, wanted to go get a drink, she could, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, But then knowing how that ended up happening and going a certain direction, I probably for the best should have just never answered. Right.
Yeah.
So but now looking back on that again, which is now like a year later, it's for the best. Like everyone is in a better place or everyone's in an okay place, at least on the
Everyone is
surface.
where they chose to be.
Right. So, well, I mean, sure, I didn't choose that, but I chose it out of them choosing,
Yeah.
which is how life works as well.
Mhm. It's
Right.
still a
Everyone,
choice. You still had to make a choice. You chose to walk away, leave it alone, and
correct.
deal with it.
And I chose to tell them, like, look, it's great that you want to be friends. And I told them, look, I will always be your friend. Always. Like I said, if she knocked on the door tomorrow, I'd help her. I would just definitely keep someone at an arm's length.
Mhm.
Um, but I think that happens with anyone that you have feelings for. If you think that you can just turn on the friend switch, like and that's all it's going to be, that's a very, very difficult thing to do. I think mostly once you've passed a line in the sand, right? I think once you've slept together and it, you and made a commitment and then put in time, you end up, it ends up being very difficult to be a friend to somebody
Yeah.
because you're always thinking what might have been.
Mhm.
So, and heaven forbid they call you asking you, you know, or, and I don't know if guys do it with girls all the time, but like girls love calling guys and being like, can I ask you a question about my current boyfriend? Like, no, but sure, because then you try to give it. And then here's the other thing too. I think you end up giving information that's half-assed sometimes because you
I
end up,
I don't think that that's even fucking cool for somebody to do that to somebody that they were with. It you know, I've actually had that happen, and I said, "Look, I'm done helping you with your relationships the moment we weren't in one. So
mhm,
you figure out your own shit. You're not putting me through that."
right. Yeah, it's difficult. It definitely is.
And it's not right to do to somebody. Like, you don't rub shit in their face. You just don't. If you ever cared about them, don't be like that. Just don't. Don't
Mhm.
don't go around them and fuck with them again. If you don't have an intention of being with them, leave them alone.
I think that there's something to that, and I think that's for everybody.
Agreed.
You
Everybody.
know, you know, I think guys have a way of, and I hate to say it. Here's the thing: if you like somebody, if you have feelings for them, and you've told them you have feelings for them,
Yeah.
I think anytime after that, you can't be a real friend
Right.
because you're playing the game of what if. Like, yeah, what if she breaks up with this guy? Then I'm
Mhm.
right here. I'm here waiting, and guys will wait. If they like somebody, guys will wait 2 years, just hoping that you
Interesting.
break up with somebody, and that's a fact. And if people tell you otherwise, they're lying. I know people who've done it.
Huh.
So it because, and I don't want to say that men are predatory because I don't think that that's what it is. They're just waiting their turn because they know or they think they're a better guy, right?
Interesting.
And that guy will date other people during that whole time and just
And
be a
still wait
friend.
that one chick.
Yeah. Waiting for that one, the one phone call of, and I hate to say that I'm going to say it because I think that there's some truth to it, but I don't want to say, again, I don't think it's predatory per se, but they will be the shoulder to cry on
Mhm.
and then hope that they'll be the dick to sit on.
I don't wanna be with somebody out of default.
No, but I think that they have feelings. I don't think people are waiting around for people they don't have feelings for. They would bang them no matter what. I don't
Well,
think
guys
that's
would bang most people that they're around no matter
they
what.
would bang most of their friends.
Yeah.
That's just how we work.
As long as it doesn't get messy. They may stop if it's gonna get messy with the chick, but
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying though is I think that when I say that they would bang their friends, they would bang their friends that they want to be in a relationship with.
right?
That I don't think that I'm saying that they would just do it to do it, which I think some dudes would, but because they don't think about putting their hand into a meat grinder because that's what you're doing.
Right?
If you sleep with someone that is just your friend and you have absolutely no feelings for them and don't have any plans of being in a relationship, don't sleep with somebody.
Mm.
It's like putting your hand in a meat grinder. because it's never going to work out and you're going to lose your friend forever. I
Hmm.
mean, I'll tell you, I did it. Although I did have feelings for her, but we were friends for so long. And we lived together and didn't sleep together.
Wow.
We lived together for almost 4 years. And obviously years later and marriages and kids and blah, blah, blah. We were hanging out together one night and had a couple of drinks and then started talking about blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, like we slept together. So, and then prefaced it by the next morning, me going to her and said, listen, I don't know what we did or what we're doing, but like, don't fall in love with me. Like, it's not a good idea. Because I knew mentally where I was. It was chasing somebody else.
Right.
So in my head, now things ended up kind of progressing and I thought blossomed into something like really good
Hmm.
and could have gone somewhere. But, like we've talked on other podcasts, I can fuck up a relationship in a weekend. So, so I ended up doing that. But look, like you said, people are where they're supposed to be. And
Yeah.
and and and
That's true too.
unfortunately, this person is now a stranger, like a
Mm.
serious stranger. I text her on holidays and her birthday. So the last thing I heard from her, she's doing good. She said she's doing good in pretty much everywhere. And it's funny because she actually kind of made it. She made sure she said she was doing well relationship wise,
Okay.
which I thought was kind of funny because I really kind of just wanted to go, I wasn't asking you about that. I didn't, good for you, but I wasn't, you know, uh,
You weren't
if
fishing?
I don't throw the boomerang out to see what comes back. I'll tell you right away if I'm asking if you're single or not, you'll know
Mhm.
because I don't beat around the bush. Why? Like, I'm calling you to find out where this is or what's going on in your life. It's like, hey, you seen anybody? And they say, yeah, I go, okay, cool. I just seeing where you're at. And, you know, and then you have to turn on the cool and be happy with them, and like, okay, cool. That's what but again, then you have to turn the fucking stranger switch right back on too,
Yeah.
which is a whole other, you know, you just gotta, and it's not easy. I don't want to say that I do it with like a smile on my face because I don't think that's true. I mean, you've seen me have to do it with people, and
Yeah.
it's not something that I would say I'm proud to do, but I just think that it's best for everyone involved because if it, those little doors stay open for way too long, and then people stay around forever and ever and ever and ever waiting, and then the
Mhm.
next thing you know, you're the odd person out again. Like, okay, I just wasted years of my life, you know, being a friend to somebody who you were hoping the feelings would escalate, and even that one, this one, it did escalate. We did pop in and out of these really weird, like we were friends 90% of the time, and every blue moon would sleep together, which is an odd thing. It's like, just be upfront. If you're interested, say it and be interested, and if you're not, say it and not. and
Mhm.
and yes, it's going to suck that we won't talk anymore. It's the shitty part of being in relationships with people. But shit, I've got on, like I said, I've been on 2 or 3 dates with people that I thought were good and then never talked to them again either, which is like the oddest thing. You're like, oh, okay, well, I thought that went well, but I guess not. But it's a weird thing. It's, and I think the older we get, it, not that it becomes easier, but it definitely is the first thing you do. I think just go, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, somehow your heart hardens and you learn that you could live without people, and then you when you have to, you cut them off, and life just moves on, and you learn how to deal with their absence, and then it becomes life will fill it up with something else, and then there is no absence, they're just gone, and that's just the way life is. I There's been people in my life that I've loved to death, and that's happened with them, and I didn't even realize. I look back and I go, "How in the hell did that happen?" Like, I don't even remember it, because life will take you in a different direction, and, you just I always think that you don't know what you're being spared by leaving that situation be completely. If they're still able to come in and there's that dissension, then it's always gonna draw you back into more drama. So, just leaving it alone and moving completely on is kind of a merciful way to treat yourself, if you think about it.
Right. No, that's very true. Yeah,
But
hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say you're right. You're just having mercy on yourself.
Yeah. I remember when I first started dating my ex, and he was having problems distancing himself from his ex. And I said, and she was just doing things to try to get his attention and it was rough. And I said, why don't you just pick up the phone and tell her this, that, and this? And he said, look, that's not going to make things change. It's going to add fuel to the fire. If I leave it alone, it'll burn itself out. Like, I just have to leave it alone. I never understood that. I always was like, no, you got to say something. No, you got to do.
Right.
But over the years and living with him and understanding him and knowing him, I get him now and I get where he was coming from. And it's amazing how I never thought about it. Most people don't. Most people want to engage, but again, I think it was merciful for her. I think it was merciful for him, and it was merciful for me that's the way he did things. But I think that if you still like want that person, you got to know that walking away is not going to keep them from you. Life will bring them back. And that's when you know it's real. And if you sit in this trying to make things work that just clearly isn't going to work, all you're going to do is feel bad.
Right. Yeah, I do kind of agree with that. If things are meant to be, they'll always come back around.
They always come
You
back
know,
around.
life has a very weird way of bringing people back into your life.
And it's
And
easier than ever now, like ever.
yeah, well, and here's the other thing too, where it also these relationships blossom very easily because
Yeah.
you don't have to go through that initial stage of like, what do you like to do, what's your favorite color, well, that kind of thing, where you've now lived a life of 10 years and you've lived,
Mhm.
and now you're like, oh, okay, so catch me up on the 10 years in between the last time we saw each other, and I'll tell you what mine are, and then we can now try to find out who we are, as 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because those are the other things that I think are a bit weird about, becoming strangers and then becoming people again,
Mm.
friends, relationships, whatever. You realize that, as much as you're still the same, because I think a lot of people are, you are different people and you think differently and you feel differently.
Mhm.
A-
Absolutely.
And here's the other thing that I think with something like that, you can end up being strangers again very quickly, right? Where, I've had friends come back into my life and then just disappear again. Like, and we
Mm.
would hang out for months and then just disappear. And this was like, they would come to my house and hang out and just,
Well, you and I've done that to each other too. Like there'll be long times in between where we don't
Hmm.
talk or see each other, but we can pop right back in and be just as close as we always were.
Yeah.
And that never changed. I feel like if you let go and just let things happen, you'll be where you want to be or where you need to be with whom you need to be. And not
Right.
everybody's going to take that whole journey with you right next to you. Sometimes they're going to weave in and out, and that's a good thing, and that's growth, and that's how you want life to be, because if you always have the same people in the same positions, there's really no room for anything new to come through.
Right. That's true. 100% true.
And what's coming through may be way freaking better.
Uh, what I want to start telling people now that like either friends that liked me in the past and something happened, or other people that I had a relationship and whatever, I'm sending everyone to marriage. Almost everyone that
What do you mean?
that they've been with me in the interim and then went and got married. And I'm talking about within the last 3 years. Two people that I've had relations with through certain things, then left and met somebody and got married.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking now that I'm just the leapfrog. I'm the lily pad in between in between what you had in your marriage. I'm just like the bloop,
Mm.
bloop. Ooh.
You know what I've noticed over the years is like you come in and you help fix somebody's soul that's been really freaking broken. And then once it's fixed, they go and do what they got to do. And I think that you need to quit fixing people and just let them be and wish them well and just keep moving, because you need to find somebody that's already healed. And when you find that, you're going to be in a great relationship and you're going to have a lot of fun. That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I like tools though.
You like tools
Yeah,
to fix? No.
I love tools. I was just talking to a friend of mine about that. Like, you know, that like, so I've lived in an apartment pretty much my whole time, my whole life. And then I had a condo for a while. I had the same condo with two different women, which is a whole, I'm not many guys can say that. I had a
That's
condo with
true.
I had my condo with a girlfriend. She left. And then my girlfriend at the time bought it, who became my wife. And I had it with her as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, most people can't say that. But here's the thing. I've never had a tool. Like, I've always had tool bags, but I want a tool chest. I want, like, one you put in a garage, but I need a garage for it.
Yeah.
So, I was keep telling myself, if my kid moves out, I'm going to turn his room into, like, I'm going to buy a tool thing just so I can have one, because I want to be that one guy that says I have a cool a little tool rack that I can put all my tools in.
Even I have one.
Like a stand up one, like a big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
rolls and it's got the really good wheels on them, the
Yeah.
casters. And
I want one of that, but you have a garage.
No, my dad has a garage. Um,
What do you mean? You live there and you have a garage?
but mine is pink. It's like a hot
Oh, very
pink color.
nice.
Yeah, it's very girly. I love
Yeah,
it.
I found one I want. I found one on Amazon I want. I just need to, I should probably buy it now while it's decently cheap and
You
just
should.
put it. There's a spot in my room I could actually put it if I just wanted to keep it here. But um,
That's
yeah, because
I'm
I
totally off subject.
I have a shit ton of tools. No, it's not, because I'm fixing things and I'm a fixer. So you always have to have a bunch of cool tools. So, um, look, I mean, yes, that's probably true. I communicate well. So, and for some reason, people like to talk to my dumb face and tell me their problems. So I just think you know, I end up talking with people. And even if there is feelings, you're probably right. I do end up kind of, um, making sure people are okay and sending them off.
You know
And
what
maybe I
I
did.
say? We need to start going, "Fuck this, move on," and just, like, start slapping them on the ass as we're pushing them out the door. Like, I do think that at some point, that's exactly what needs to be done too. That's the most merciful thing is saying, "Nope, keep moving." Like,
Well,
and I'm at a point where I'm just doing that. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'll see you later." Like, they're gonna come back. They all come back. If they're supposed to come back, they're gonna come back. So just
yeah.
move them along. Fuck. That's what I'm doing. I'm just like, "Nah, move along." Nope, it didn't. If you didn't pick me the first time, I sure as hell ain't waiting for the second time.
I mean, yeah, we talked about that, I think, like a couple shows ago, that I agree with that within a certain time period.
Yeah, I get you.
Like if you come back within like 2 or 3 years, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
Because, eh, but if we're talking like, 20 years, it's like
right.
you're not the same person anymore. So
That's true. I'll give you that.
there is a little leeway to that, but you're right. I think within a few years, that's a rough one. You need to come back in a couple more years so we can see what happens, because you haven't changed enough, or you haven't grown enough, or you haven't lived enough, whatever.
Exactly.
Stick in your thing here of how you want to feel. But like, I think that in our age group, once you go away and get married and raise kids and then come back, you're different.
Right?
You're just a different human being, because life is now giving you a bit more uh, armor, right? Because I think marriage gives you armor.
Yeah.
It also makes you it'll make you rough, though. It'll also make you um a little less um like maybe make you not fight as much anymore. It'll make you go,
Right?
and which is, whatever. It it'll make other people into strangers very quickly, is what that'll do. Your armor
Mm.
will do that to somebody. If we want to cap this show off with that, that is what will happen for sure.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, that is all. Check us out on all social medias. We're on every podcasting platform you can think of. And it's an opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every Wednesday. I'm Rob. That's Tina. We'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.